Good afternoon, students. So we will discuss today about the 28th January shift one analysis part. So far we have received some questions from maths, physics and chemistry. So since it is memory based, usually in the beginning we will be getting the easy based questions, because usually students tendency is like they will be remembering the easy questions in the beginning. So far I have got with me around 5 to 6 questions. So we will start discussing these 6 questions. So before this, like do let me know if I am audible clearly. Right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So the first question here is from functional equation plus definite integration based question. So this was a functional equation plus definite integration. So the question says that f of x is some polynomial function. F of x is a polynomial function such that they are trying to say here now f of x square plus 1. So this is given to you as something like x to the power 4 plus 5x square plus 3, and they are asking you to calculate the value of integration of 0 to 3 f of x dx. Okay, so this seems to be a easy question. I would put this under the easy category, because if you are able to crack what is f of x function from this particular functional equation, then it's easy to evaluate the integration also. And to figure out what is f of x function, if I observe this carefully, so here x, this particular function, whatever is there in the RHS part, I can write as simply x square whole square plus pi into x square plus 3. So I can, if I want to figure out what is f of x from this, I'll do one simple replacement. I'll replace x square plus 1 with t. So I can say now f of t is something in the form to me. X square I can replace with t minus 1. So t minus 1 whole square plus 5 times of x square is going to be like another t minus 1 plus 3. Right. So I can figure out what is function from here. So the function from here is, I can say it is t square minus 2t plus 5, 3t. You're having a plus 1 plus 3, 4, 4 minus 5, which is again another minus. So this is what is f of t function. Now the requirement to you here is, you're trying to calculate this part. So I can say this is going to be now integration of 0 to 3 f of x. So f of x is something like x square plus 3x minus 1 dx. Now integrate this simply, then you should be getting the answer. So integration of x square dx is x cube by 3, 3x square by 2. Integration of 1 dx is again something like x. Limits are from 0 to 3, right? So I can write it is something in the form to be now 3 cube by 3, right? 9 is 27 by 2, and another 3 I am having it. So lower limit is anyhow going to be here 0 itself, right? That means I can say it is something in the form to be now here 27 by 2 plus 9 minus 3 6, 12 plus 27, which happens to be something like 39 by 2. Okay, so 39 by 2 is your answer. So very simple thing. So if you are able to crack what is f of x from this, then you'll be able to do it. Very standard question. So all the faculties will be doing this type of questions very regularly in the class, right? Okay. Chalo. So let me go for the next question now. Yeah. So question number 2. So question number 2 is from quadratic equations. So it says that there is a quadratic equation given to you, alpha x square minus of alpha plus 3 times of x plus 3 is equal to 0. Roots are alpha beta. They are given the roots of this equation are alpha beta, where alpha is less than beta. And at the same time, they are also given to me 1 by alpha minus 1 by beta. Not in the correct value over here. So 1 by alpha minus 1 by beta, I think this is something which is like 6. Then find sum of all possible values of lambda. All possible values of lambda. Okay. So this number might be some other distinct number also. So right now I was not able to figure out the writing of the student. So it seems to be like number is 6, and this is what is the question. So this again very standard question. Okay, relation between roots and coefficients based on 11th standard. I'll definitely put this again under easy category question. Right. So what I can do here now. So one way is, here I can write it as something like now here beta minus alpha. Difference between the roots is 6 alpha beta. Okay. And if you observe this equation also carefully, so I can write down this equation as, if I divide it with lambda, no, I get x square minus of 1 plus 3 by lambda into x plus 3 by lambda is equal to 0. So there's a pattern also here. You can very clearly say sum of roots is 1 plus 3 by lambda, product of roots is 3 by lambda, right? So you need not calculate what is difference between roots also. You can directly say from this roots are looking like to like 1, 3 by lambda. But I don't know which is larger root among this. So that's why I can't name what is alpha and what is beta over here, right? So I'll do one thing. Since I want beta minus alpha, so it can be either 1 minus 3 by lambda or the other way, isn't it? So I'll square this equation on both sides. If I square it on both sides, then I'll have beta minus alpha whole square, which is something like to 1 minus 3 by lambda whole square is equal to having 6 square 36 into alpha square beta square. So alpha square is to be 1, beta square is to be something like 9 by lambda square. Okay, and if I observe this also carefully, it is something like to here lambda minus 3 whole square. Denominator having lambda square, which gets anyhow cancelled. It is something like 36 into 9. Right? So which gives me now values of lambda minus 3 is equal to plus or minus 6 root 9. Okay. So or I can write as plus or minus 18, right? So this gives me values of lambda as 3 plus 18, which is 21, or the other thing is you'll get 3 minus 18, which is minus 15. Now they're asking you sum of all possible values of lambda. So your answer has to be here now 21 minus 15, which is something like here, what sir? 6, right? Another easy question. So if you are not able to figure out these roots are 1, 3 by lambda also, after writing this, what you can do is, you can write, if you're squaring, you will get beta minus alpha whole square is equal to 6 alpha beta. Now from this again, what I can do? I can write it as beta minus alpha whole square can be written as what sir? Beta plus alpha whole square minus 4 alpha beta is equal to 6 alpha beta. And then you can proceed, because I know sum of roots, I know product of roots. So sum of roots is again known to you from the equation as what sir? It is lambda plus 3 by lambda whole square is equal to, it is 10 times of alpha beta. Product of roots is something like in the form to you 3 by lambda. Okay. Now again here if you observe it, you will get a quadratic in terms of lambda. Try to just find sum of roots in this part, SOR. Is it okay? Right. This is also another easy question. So these type of questions, like usually all the faculties will be saying in the class ki, like when you're starting max paper, so it's filtering out the questions is very important, right? So you have to filter out the questions which are going to be easy, not that calculative. So these are all falls under the same category right now. Okay. Chalo. Let us go for the next question. Yeah. The next question is from vectors. It is something like trying to say here magnitude of a vector minus b vector whole square plus magnitude of b vector minus c vector whole square plus magnitude of c vector minus a vector whole square. This is given to you is like 9, and they also mentioned a, b, c are unit vectors, so whose magnitudes are always given to you as 1 unit here. Now apart from this, they also given you one more thing which says that magnitude of 2 times of a vector plus k times of b vector plus k times of c vector is equal to 3. They are asking you to calculate, find the positive values of k. So k is equal to what? They are trying to say k is positive value. Find the positive value of k. Achha. So this was a PYQ advanced pattern question was there, like same equation was there in the PYQ question. I think it was something like here magnitude of a vector plus b vector plus c vector. That is what they are asking. Okay, so it was a PYQ based question. So I will put this question under moderate level difficulty. Okay. So the very first thing when you look into this question is you will try to expand this. when I'm trying to expand this, what I'll get, sir, I'll get it as 2 times of magnitude of A vector square plus magnitude of B vector square plus magnitude of C vector square, isn't it? So which is actually, let me write it as in one step. So magnitude of A vector square plus magnitude of B vector square plus magnitude of C vector square minus of, again you'll be having here now 2 times of A dot B plus B dot C plus C dot A is equal to what you'll be having it as 9, right? So this anyhow 3 into 2 is 6. So with this I can say I'm getting here now A dot B plus B dot C plus C dot A is something in the form to 9 minus 6, which is 3 minus 3 by 2. Okay, this is something in the form to you minus 3 by 2. Is it okay? Right. Now with this thing, if I'm just trying to cross multiply it, I'll get as something like now here 2 times of sigma A dot B is minus 3, right? So in which formula will I get sigma A dot B? So if I observe carefully in this particular formula, magnitude of A vector plus B vector plus C vector whole square, this is something like to here what? It is sigma times of magnitude of A vector whole square plus 2 times of sigma A dot B, isn't it? So if I replace sigma 2 times of sigma A dot B with minus 3, and this is 3, so that means I'll be getting here as 3 minus 3, which is actually 0, right? So this gives me a hint now here. So I am getting here now magnitude of A vector plus B vector plus C vector whole square is 0. That means what can I say from here? So definitely A plus B plus C should be a null vector, isn't it? It has to be a null vector. Now you observe this, A, B, C are 3 vectors whose magnitudes are equal and addition is 0. That means can I say they form a triangle? Can I say? Can I conclude they form a triangle, sir? So with this I can conclude here now. After this you can see over here. So definitely here to me A vector, B vector, C vector. So since they are satisfying the triangle law of addition. So if I take in the same cyclic order, addition is actually what? 0. Vertex A, vertex B, vertex C. Right? And you also know each of these actually what? Length is 1. So which type of triangle is ABC triangle, I can say? I can say it is equilateral triangle. So this has to be to me here 60 degrees, 60 degrees and 60 degrees. Each angle is going to be 60 degrees, right? Yeah. So now I'll go to the requirement of the question. The requirement of question is they are given you this entire thing is equal to 3, right? So it is given to me here magnitude of 2 times of A vector plus if I take that K common, so K times of B vector plus C vector is given to you is equal to what, sir? 3. Okay. That means what I can say about B plus C here now, I can replace B plus C with what? Minus A can I replace? So if I am replacing this with minus A, that means I can say it is going to be something in the form to 2 minus K times of A vector is equal to 3. So this gives me what, sir? I can write it as now mod of 2 minus K. Magnitude of A vector is anyhow 1, this is equal to 3. So this gives you two values of K. So K minus 2 is equal to 3. So K is 5. Or if you take it as minus 3, so minus 3 plus 2, you're going to get as minus 1. So two values of K are getting 5 and minus 1. So the answer they are trying to take is what? They are asked you to pick the positive value. So this is what is the answer. Right. So this is again a PYQ based question. So after this, getting this idea is a bit difficult, but there is also one more strategy. So the other strategy is by looking into it, can you able to guess the things? If you are able to guess it, then also it is done. Because I can say here now, mod A mod B is 1. So that means indirectly I am getting something like cos alpha plus cos beta plus cos gamma is actually what? You are getting it as minus 3 by 2, right? So since I am getting it as minus 3 by 2, is another alter method. So since I am getting it as minus 3 by 2, so if you observe it, if each of that becomes equal to minus half, then also it is possible. If each of them has to become minus half, that means what I can say, sir, alpha is equal to beta is equal to gamma is equal to 120 degrees. So angle between A vector B vector has to be 120. Angle between B vector C vector has to be 120, and angle between A vector C vector has to be 120 degrees. So if you observe here, what is angle between A and B? So angle between A and B is this thing, right? This extended angle. So this is 120 degrees. So that should again give you an idea like it's a equilateral triangle, and from there you can proceed it. Is it okay? Yes. Chalo. Let me see if anyone is having any doubts or queries. Okay. Let me go for the next question. It's a question based on statistics. Usually, like statistics is going to be scoring part, but sometimes they make the question very lengthy also or calculative also. The question what we received so far is of that nature, which is of calculative nature. So the data suggests that they are giving you 10 observations. The 10 observations are something in this way. 2, 3, 5, 10, 11, 13, 15, 21, A, B. So these are the 10 observations given to you. For this 10 observations data, they asked you mean is 9. Okay, they are given you mean is 9. And they are also given to you variance, which is sigma square is 34 point. Now you have seen many questions like after this they will be asking you something about find A and B values. Now in this question, they have extended it. They have asked you to calculate find mean deviation about median. Mean deviation. Find mean deviation about median. About median. So question seems to be very standard, but it's by looking at it I can understand it. So the first thing is you have to figure out what is A and B. You will get two equations, two unknowns. Then again you have to do mean deviation about median. So it is a bit lengthy, but I would say it's going to be doable question. Okay, so doable, but it is lengthy, right? Chalo. So mean is given to you as 9. So if I observe the number of observations, so 4, 8, 2. Yeah, 10 observations are there. So I can write here now. So mean is equal to, if I try to take the sum of these observations, 10, 20. So this is 20, and here if I look into it, 24, 39, 40 plus 20, 60. Plus A plus B divided by total, you are having 10. So this gives me now here 80. So A plus B, you are getting one equation, which is something like to you, sir. 90 minus 80, which is 10. Okay. Now another equation, I'll try to calculate it from variance. The variance is 34.2. The data says it is 34.2. Okay. So sigma square, I'll apply the formula. So sigma square is sigma. You can apply any of the formula. You're having two formulas. So if I take this formula xi minus x bar whole square divided by number of observations, which is again here 10. So with this, I can write here now. So sigma square is something like to you 34.2. So 34.2 into 10, that will give you 342. Now I'll take deviation of each observation from mean, and I'll try to take the square of that part. So when I'm trying to take deviation of each observation from mean, so 2 minus 9, it is minus 7 whole square, you'll get 49. 3 minus 9, 36. 5 minus 9, it is minus 4, 16. 10 minus 9, 1 square, which is again 1. 11 minus 9, 2 square, 4. 13 minus 9, 16. 6 square, 36. 21 minus 9, which is 12 square, which is 144. Plus again you'll be having here now A minus 9 whole square plus B minus 9 whole square is equal to this much. So I have to figure out what is the value of A and B from this. So if I try to simplify it a bit further, so I'll get 342 is equal to, I think you're getting here 2 times of 36, which is 72. 49 1, I'll take it as 150. Acha, 4 is also there. Yeah. Calculation thing. So 2 times of 36. Then again you're having some 16 into 2, 32. So 50, 54. So 54, one another 144. And this also if I simplify it, I'll get A square plus B square. And again minus 18 times of A plus B plus 9 square 81, 81, which is again another 162. So with this you should try to be able to figure out the value of A square plus B square. So let me do it one more step simplification. So it's 100, 104, 158. So 158 plus, let me take it as another 144 plus A square plus B square minus 180 plus 162, right? So if you're trying to simplify this, you'll be getting the equation at the end as something like 58. This is what is second equation. So you're having two equations with two unknowns. So this is about solving two equations with two unknowns. So when I'm trying to solve these two equations with two unknowns, let me take the equations to this side. So a plus b is 10. This is one equation, and a square plus b square is 58. This is another equation. So maybe you can replace b with 10 minus a and solve the quadratic. Or just before solving, if you observe it, you can very clearly see that one pair of solutions are definitely going to be 3, 7. Okay. Yeah. So now you know the data also, it's 3, 7. Now you can try to calculate its median, and then you have to calculate mean deviation about median. So since these two observations are 3, 7, now when I want to calculate about its median, so what I will be doing here, sir? So I will be arranging the data in the ascending order. So when I am trying to arrange the data in the ascending order, AO, so 2, 3, 3, 5, 7, 10, 11, 13, 15, 21. So this is what is the data. So once arranged in ascending order, so when I want to calculate the median, the number of observations are 10. So you will focus on the middle two observations. So middle two observations are this. Let me count it once. 4, 8, 10. Yeah. So these are the middle two observations. So since these are the middle two observations, now I'll do what here, sir? It is median. So median is average of the middle two observations, which is something like 7 plus 10, 17 by 2, which is again 8.5. Now once I got median as 8.5, now the data is, they're asking you to calculate mean deviation about median. So what I'll do for mean deviation about median here, so mean deviation about median, the formula is sigma of, for each observation you'll try to take the absolute value of difference from median by 10. And once you apply this and try to figure out, you'll be able to crack the answer. Is it fine? It's actually a doable question, but lengthy. So you should be careful in the calculation of this part. Okay. Yeah. And let me take one more question. This is the fifth question. So g of x is given to you as, the g of x is given to you as 3x square plus 2x minus 3, and they are also given here f of 0 is to you minus 3, and 4 times of g of f of x, 4 times of g composition of f of x is given to you as 3x square minus 32x plus 72. Then they are asking you to calculate the value of f of g of 2. So the options are also mentioned here. So the option says that it is something like minus 25 by 6 plus 25 by 6 and plus or minus 7 by 2. So minus 7 by 2 plus 7 by 2. Definitely not a round one question if you are not familiar with this part. I'll put it under moderate to difficult, or I would say it's going to be a difficult category question itself. So what you can do in this question? So the requirement is f of g of 2 and g of x function is known to you, right? So since g of x function is known to you, so g of 2, if I want to calculate it, so what is g of 2 I can say here, sir? It is 4 into 3, 12, 2 into 2, 4, minus 3, so 12 plus 1, 13. So g of 2 is 13. So the ask is to you, f of 13 is what they're asking. But I don't know what is f of x function over here. Is it okay? You are not aware of what is f of x function over here. I know one more thing, which is g of f of x is this much, right? I'll do one thing. So since I want what is f of 13 value, so in this particular expression, if I replace x with 13, so what I'll get, sir, here, I can say it is 4 times of g of f of 13 is equal to, I am replacing x with 13, so I'll get 3 times of 13 square minus 32 into 13 plus 72, right? So if I see here, so this is something like 39 minus 32, which is again 7 plus 72. So it is something like 91 plus 72, right? and then you'll be getting here now 163 is this value. That means I can say here I am getting something like g of f of 13 is something like to me 163 by 4, and I am trying to calculate what is f of 13 value, and you know this is this. Achha, so you can do one thing. I'll take f of 13 as something like t. I don't know what is it. I'm assuming it is t. So g of t is equal to 163 by 4. Your answer is what? T. I know g function is this. So with this I can say here now I'm getting something like now 3 times of t square plus 2t minus 3 is equal to 163 by 4. Right? So you can do one thing here. I'll try to find the roots of this equation, and that is what is going to be t. Right? Or other thing is you have to figure out what is a function. If you want to figure out what is a function, okay, if you have to figure out what is a function, what you can do is, what can be a degree of f of x here now? Because f of x, if you look into it, if it is linear, then g of linear is definitely going to be quadratic, right? Is it fine? So f of x has to be definitely linear, because if f of x is quadratic, so g of quadratic will give you biquadratic, right? So the actual method is something like this. You are just trying to assume here f of x is actually a linear expression, and then you can try to solve it, okay? Right? So that is what is another way, and we'll just try to see now. I'll just try to go with the options part. So what I have done here is I have assumed this entire thing as f of 13 as t. I have assumed it because that is what they are asking here in the question. So I have taken it as t, and g of t is going to be now 163 by 4. If I replace in this x with 13, so f of 13 is what is the unknown, right? So g of t is going to be this thing. So this has to be 163 by 4. You are trying to figure out what is t value. That's it. So now I can also go back substitution also. So definitely you have to get 4 in denominator. That means your answer should be somewhere between plus or minus 7 by 2. So if I look into it, 3t square plus 2t also if I look into it, I should be getting here something like here 163 plus 4 3 is 12 divided by 4, which is 175 by 4. 2 minutes. So this is 175 by 4. Now if you look into it, so t if I replace it with 7 by 2, so I'll be getting here now 7 by 2 whole square. I'm just going back with the options because I can see denominator 4 is there, so answer has to be between c and d. So 2 times of 7 by 2, if I look into it, this is 49 into 3, which is again 147 by 4 plus 7. So 147 plus 28 by 4, which is exactly 175 by 4. So definitely answer has to be option D, right? Or if you want to do it in the normal method, so what you are supposed to do is you can assume here f of x is something like ax plus b, and then you can proceed. Okay. You can just assume here now, let f of x is equal to ax plus b, and you know f of 0 is minus 3. So since f of 0 is minus 3, this gives you now b value as minus 3, and a value you can get again by substituting in this equation. Okay, so you'll get a very big functional equation from here, substitute over there, you'll be getting the value, right? Okay. So yeah, so I got with me one more question. Let me go to that question also once. So this says that k value is something like here now, sir, tan of pi by 4 plus 1 by 2 cos inverse 2 by 3 plus tan inverse of 1 by 2 sin inverse 2 by 3. This is k value. They are asking you to calculate number of solutions of sin inverse of kx minus 1 is equal to, so sin inverse of x, I think it's, we don't know whether it's minus or plus. I think it's minus only, so let me take minus cos. So I'll just give an idea about it. How do we proceed in this question now? So you have to first of all figure out the value of k, no doubt in that. Back substitute over here, and then you are going to solve a inverse trigonometry equation. So this is a question from ITF, and first glance, because since I have to figure out the value of k, tan of some expression is there, tan inverse of some expression is there over here. So how do I do this? If I observe it carefully, so here cos inverse 2 by 3 is there, here sin inverse of 2 by 3 is there. I'll do one thing, I'll replace sin inverse of 2 by 3 with pi by 2 minus cos inverse of 2 by 3. So if I do that, then I'll be getting here k value as something tan of pi by 4 plus 1 by 2 cos inverse of 2 by 3. And if I look into the other part, so you're having it as tan inverse of half of pi by 2, it is again pi by 4 minus half of cos inverse of 2 by 3. So if you're observing it, it's exactly, if I assume this is something like an angle A, tan pi by 4 plus A, tan pi by 4 minus A, right? So I can write as tan A plus tan B, 1 plus tan A by 1 minus tan J. So tan of A minus B is again 1 minus tan J, divided by again you'll have 1 plus tan J. And if I'm trying to simplify it, you'll be getting here now 1 plus 2 times of 1 plus tan square J by 1 minus tan square A, right? So 2 times of 1 plus tan square is 2 times of secant square A, divided by, if I just try to simplify it a bit further, so tan square is sin square A by cos square A, so I'll be writing as cos square A minus sin square A is cos 2A, and that cos I'll take it to numerator, so cos square A, it gets cancelled, 2 by cos 2A, or you can get it as 2 secant 2A, right? Yeah. So 2 by cos 2A, I'll stop it over here. If I observe it carefully from here itself, I know the value of cos 2A, it's actually what, sir? 2 by 3. Right? So since you know the value of cos 2A is 2 by 3, so I'll be writing it as now here 2 by 2 by 3, which gives me the value of k is 3. Now since you know the value of k is 3, so the equation to you know looks like to you something like sin inverse of 3x minus 1 is equal to sin inverse of x minus cos inverse of x. Now you are trying to solve this equation. So solve this equation. Okay, so how do I proceed in this part now here? Maybe I'll try to convert into entirely sin inverse part. So I'll add as now here sin inverse of x. Cos inverse x again I'll add as pi by 2 minus sin inverse of x. So I'll be having here now 2 times of sin inverse of x minus pi by 2. And if you look into the equation over here, it is sin inverse of 3x minus 1 plus pi by 2. So I'm getting it as pi by 2 plus sin inverse of 3x minus 1 is equal to 2 times of sin inverse x. Yeah. ITF equation. So you should be careful. Once you get back your answer, you have to make sure it is there definitely in the domain part, right? So what I can do, I can try to apply sine on both sides or cos on both sides, and then you can try to proceed, right? So if I'm trying to apply cos on both sides, so cos pi by 2 plus sin inverse of 3x minus 1 is cos of 2 sin inverse x. Cos 90 plus theta is again minus sin theta, so minus sin of sin inverse of 3x minus 1. And sin of sin of x is going to be x, so let us directly negative of 3x minus 1, right? And here cos 2 theta, I'll add as 1 minus 2 sin square theta. So I can write as now here 1 minus 2 sin square theta. So it is sin of sin inverse x whole square, right? So sin of sin inverse x is again going to be x within the principal value domain of sin inverse of x, right? So I'm getting an equation of basically here something in the form minus 3x plus 1 is equal to 1 minus of 2x square. So 1 also gets cancelled. So you're getting the value as 2x square minus 3x is equal to 0. This gives me two values of x. So x into 2x minus 3 is equal to 0. So x is something like to you here now 0, or you're also getting it as what, sir? 3 by 2. Now x is equal to 3 by 2, can I take it? Because it is not there in the domain of sin inverse of x, so you can't take it, right? So this does not belong to domain. So you can only take x value as 0. Okay. So if I back substitute also verify it out. So if I see in this part, so pi by 2 plus sin inverse of minus 1, which happens to be minus pi by 2, is equal to 2 times of sin inverse of 0. is 0. So getting 0 is equal to 0. So it's a valid solution. So I think they are asking you to calculate the value of x, sorry, number of solutions. So number of solutions is going to be what, sir? You know, it is going to be 1. Alright, students. Right, so these are the questions which I have got so far. Yeah. So mostly, like as I say, among the 6 questions we have received so far, so this also I would say it is something under moderate to difficult level category, right? So moderate to difficult level category, and this ITF question is also in the same category, I would say, moderate to difficult level category. Okay. So now we have with us chemistry faculty Pallavi ma'am. So she will be taking the questions, memory based questions from the chemistry part.
Hello students, so we are going to discuss the chemistry paper. Let's see what type of question paper came. It's easy, that is moderate or the tough. So I have a few questions here. So let's start with the periodic classification. So we have a question in a period 4. We have to identify that which element have the lowest and highest radii. Okay. Lowest radius and the highest radius we have to identify in the 4th period. So basically in the 4th period, if you talk about the periodic table, here we have a hydrogen, then here lithium, then we have a sodium, and then potassium. So potassium is coming in the 4th one. And here we have, that is helium, neon, argon, and krypton. Krypton is coming that side, 4th one. Okay, so technically krypton should be the longest one, and here left to right we know that size is decreasing. But in optional, let me read the option. They have given option potassium and bromine. Okay, so that is basically it's given for the highest, and this is given for the lowest. So potassium and bromine, sodium and chlorine, these are the options, and potassium and selenium, and rubidium and Br. Okay, so here we have a fluorine, chlorine, bromine, and then iodine, right? So technically the bromine should be the lowest here and the potassium is highest. They have not talked about the krypton. So bromine is lowest here and potassium is highest. That should be the answer. So you can match your answer in your question paper and find out which number is given, potassium and bromine. So it seems it's an easy question only. Let's move to the next question. Okay, next question is belongs to the organic chemistry. They have given question. We have a benzene which we are treating with the bromine in presence of FeBr3, or this is the Lewis acid. This is the first reagent, it's a catalyst. And then we are treating further with the NaOH at 623 Kelvin, 300 atm pressure, and we are using second number, this is first number, diluted HCl. We are getting some X here, then we are treating with the Nu2 positive, nitronium ion, and we are getting the A plus B. Now they are asking the question, the organic product A and B can be separated by, okay, these two we have to do the separation. Separation method we have to identify. Option is given. I'll read it out. Option: steam distillation, fractional distillation, distillation under reduced pressure, and azeotropic distillation. Okay, Let's solve first reaction. Here the benzene is treated with the bromine with the Lewis acid catalyst. So we know that the bromobenzene is gonna be formed. Now we are treating with the NaOH base. High temperature and pressure is there with the diluted HCl. So we must know the nucleophilic substitution is not gonna be easy because bromine is connected with the sp2 carbon. But still the reaction will convert into ONA because condition is drastic. Further is treated with the HCl and it will convert into the phenol. So phenol formation take place. So basically X is nothing but the phenol. Now phenol, when you are treating with the NO2 positive, so it's an aromatic electrophilic substitution and we must learn it. It's clearly given in the NCERT, very important reaction. One we have orthonitrophenol and other we have paranitrophenol. Now question is separation method. So we must know here the orthonitrophenol have the intra-hydrogen bonding where it has the inter-hydrogen bonding. Inter-hydrogen bonding can increase the boiling point where intra can decreases. So the best method to separate it out, that is the steam distillation. Steam distillation is best method to separate these component. Correct? Okay. So now let's move to the next question. So here let me read the option. So steam distillation is given in the first option. Fractional distillation, distillation under reduced pressure, and azeotropic distillation. So we can mark the steam distillation. Easy question. जिन्होंने phenol पढ़ रखा है, so for them it's a really simple question. Let's move to the next question. This is also organic chemistry question. Question is given. We have CH3, CH2 minus, then it's CH2 double bond CH minus, carboanion is given, and they are telling CH triple bond C minus. We have to find out the stability of these ions. So option is given 3, 2 and 1, then 2, 3 and 1, then 1, 2 and 3, and then 1, 3 and 2. These options are given. This is your 1, that is 2, and this is 3. So I think this is the, almost everyone will get it, this question. It's very simple. Minus sign is stabilized by the EWG group, means withdrawal group. And this triple bond is a more withdrawal here because of the sp hybridization, more S percentage, more electronegative character or the withdrawal character. Here, S percentage is 50%. In that case, this is sp2. So S percentage is 1 by 3%, means 33.33 percentage. And here, this is sp3. So that is 1 by 4, means 25% is connected. So this is connected with the sp3 25%. So more electronegative character, that is the withdrawing tendency is higher, and the stability of the carboanion is also higher. So we have number 3 is on the top, then second, then 1. So we have this option 3, 2 and 1. Hope everybody got it. It's very simple NCERT direct question it is. Okay, so let's move to the next question. Next question is coming from the kinetics. So kinetics question is telling us for the first order reaction. For first order reaction, we have reaction X is convert into the Y plus Z. Is telling time required for decomposition of this reaction till the 1 by 8 and 1 by 10 of its initial concentration. So we have to find out T1 by 8 to T1 by 10 into 10 value we have to identify, though they have given all the log values, log 8, log 7, log 9, all values are given. So question is, it's a first order reaction. Whatever the reaction take place, initial concentration is gonna be converted into the 1 by 8, convert into the 1 by 8. So after that, whatever is left, that is actually playing the role in the first order kinetics. So let's do it. First order kinetics is telling time should be is equal to 2.303 by K log of initial concentration by initial minus whatever the X dissociation take place, right? Now that should be, so T1 by 8. It's 2.303 by K log of, let's say initial concentration is 1, so this become 1 minus 1 by 8. And T for 1 by 10, that should be 2.303 by K. K value will be same because it's a first order kinetics, it's the same equation, 1 minus 1 by 10. Since we have to calculate this, so what we can do, just divide both the equation. This cancel, everywhere. Here let's write the value. So this become log of, it's become 7, so 8 by 7 here, and this side log of, so 10 minus 1, so it's become 9, and it's become 10. And now we have to calculate multiply by 10. So what I can do, multiplied by 10 here. So basically we have to do the multiply by 10 here to calculate it. And when you are calculating, now we have an option. This is given 9, 10, and 12, and 8. So we are getting on calculation, we are getting the 12 answer. All the log values is given in the question. You just put up and get the answer. So that is also seems easier, little bit only calculation is needed, but the question was easy. Okay, now let's do one more question from the, okay, one question from the purification. Let's do it. So question is telling in Carrier's method, the estimation of bromine. Okay, we have to find out the bromine percentage if 1.53 gram organic compound, okay, this is the organic compound is given, gave 1 gram AgBr. So we have to find out the percentage of bromine in the organic compound. Atomic mass of silver and bromine is given. Silver atomic mass is given 108 and bromine is given, that is 80 gram. So we have two ways to solve. Either you can utilize direct formula of the purification section, or else you can apply the mole concepts. Let's do from the mole concept. So here the question is telling that AgBr is gonna give us silver and bromine. So we have a 1 mole of this, it gives us the 1 mole. So if I put all value, I'll get the 188 gram. It's giving us the 80 gram based on the mole concept. So 1 gram AgBr will give us the X gram of bromine. Just divide, you will get the X value 80 by 188. This is the bromine. And since we have to calculate the percentage, so what I can do, I divide by the sample mass, that is 1.53 into 100. This will give us the bromine percentage in this sample. And on calculation, so we have an option is given 35.23, 43.53, 27.81. So on calculation, we are getting 27.81. So you have to spend some time for the calculation, otherwise question is pretty simple and you should not to leave this such type of question in the competitive examination. Yes, if the calculation is very lengthy, then you can avoid, first attempt the easy question and then come back on this. Right. Let's move to the next question. So next question we have from the ionic equilibrium. Okay, this question seems good question. Let's talk about that. Question is telling for equivalent point XML 0.02 m HCl. You are treating with 5 ml 0.02 m weak base. Okay, weak base कुछ भी हो सकता है. That could be ammonium hydroxide, iron hydroxide, anything. The pKb of this weak base is given 5.69. So we have to find out the pH of resulting solution. Okay, pH of resulting solution is given Y at half equivalence. Half equivalence. So the value of X plus Y we have to identify. Okay. See the question, only the language is slightly difficult, otherwise question is not on the difficult label. Equivalence point means the HCl and the weak acid equivalent are equal. So let's first identify what is the X value. So I'm applying the equivalent concept. Equivalent of HCl would be is equal to equivalent of weak base, any weak base. Let me take it NH4OH. So I'll apply the molarity into volume into the N factor would be is equal to molarity into volume into the N factor. So here the molarity and volume is given for the weak base, that is 0.02 into 5, N factor is 1. Here the molarity is 0.02, volume is not given, which is X basically, and the N factor is 1. So we got it, volume is 5 ml. So it's nothing but the X value, means we got it, this X value is 5 ml already. Now they are talking about that it what pH is Y at the half equivalence. Okay, when you are treating HCl with NH4OH, I just assume this NH4OH, it will give us the salt and water. But since they are saying it's a half equivalence, means 100% neutralization not done. It means it's a buffer solution. So for buffer solution, it's a basic buffer, weak base, and it's salt. So basic buffer, POH, PKB plus log of base, salt by base. Since half equivalence means 50% this and 50% is this, gonna cancel, same value. So POH would be is equal to PKB. Basically that is equal to how much? 5.69. So we can calculate the pH. pH plus POH is equal to 14. So pH should be is equal to 14 minus POH is how much? 5.69. So we get the value 8.31. So that is basically the Y value. This is the Y value, we got it. It is how much? 8.31. So X value, now we can calculate this. X value is 5 and this is 8.31. So something 13 point something is coming. Let me check the option. So options are 5, 8.81, 13.71 is given approximate. So we are getting this 3 and 1, 13.31. We will get the answer. So this question have the slightly difficulty for the calculation, lengthy calculation. So if you suppose if you're nervous or you have some easy question choice, then you can opt the easy question choice rather than to opt this question. So now I have a next question which is belongs to the inorganic chemistry. Very simple theory based question. So let me read this question. They are saying choose the correct statement in respective of the hydride of group 15. We have a group 15 and we have to identify the right statement. Group 15 is nothing but the nitrogen family. So option is given. Okay, before option I have to read the statement. First statement, reducive power increasing down the group. We have to find out the right one. So in nitrogen family, we have a NH3, nitrogen, phosphorus, arsenic, antimony, and bismuth. and their hydride. So first option, they are saying the reducive power increasing down the group, basic nature increasing down the group, stability decreasing down the group, and the boiling point decreases regularly down the group. So option are given A, B, and C, A, B, and D, A and C, and B, C, and D. These are the options. See, in such type of question, rather you can analyze every single statement. We just have to go with the options. So here in the second option, they have given basic nature increasing down the group. Basically, it's wrong because lone pair tendency, the donating tendency of these lone pair is decreasing due to the inert pair effect. So here, the basic nature increasing down the group is become wrong, means the B is wrong. And we have to identify the right one. So B is wrong, B is wrong, and B is wrong. So we are leaving only with the A and C, and that should be answered. So A and C, reducive power increasing down the group, perfectly fine because it can release easily H minus. And the C option is given stability decreasing down the group, perfectly fine, thermal stability decreasing down the group. So your answer should be A and C. Easy question. Now we have one more question. So this question belongs to the coordination compound, and coordination compound, very simple question they have given. Nickel CN4 minus 2. Nickel CO4, and we have nickel Cl4 minus 2. We have these three complexes given. I'll read the option. They are asking which is the correct option. So they are saying nickel cyanide 4 minus 2 is paramagnetic, where nickel Cl4 minus 2 and nickel CO4 are diamagnetic. Second में दिया है that nickel cyanide and nickel carbonyl are diamagnetic, where nickel chloride, tetrachloride, it's paramagnetic. Then nickel Cl4, nickel CO are para, and other one is di. Then nickel Cl4 and nickel CN4 are paramagnetic, and CO is diamagnetic. Okay, so basically they talk about which one is di and which one is para. So let's find out. If you know the concept, you must knowing that cyanide is a strong ligand and carbonyl is also a strong ligand, so they must be the diamagnetic. Anyway, we check with the oxidation number first. So x minus 4 equal to minus 2, so x equal to plus 2. Nickel is 4s2 3d8. So basically 2, it's 3d8, fully paired, forcefully paired up. The unpaired electron is 0, so it's become diamagnetic in nature. The same thing is gonna be happen with the carbonyl because CO is also the strong ligand. It has a 0 charge. So nickel is 4s2 3d8 forcefully paired up, so it become 3d10 4s0, unpaired electron 0. So these two are diamagnetic in nature. And obviously this is the weak field ligand, so let's talk about 4s2. Okay, oxidation number. So x minus 4 equal to minus 2, so x equal to plus 2. So if I'm writing this, okay, so this become 3d8, and since it's a weak field ligand, so unpaired electron we have, so this become paramagnetic in nature. So basically among these options, this is the paramagnetic and these two are diamagnetic in nature. So that is given in the option 2, that is CN4 and carbonyl CO4 nickel are diamagnetic, where nickel Cl4 minus is paramagnetic in nature. Easy question. Now we have one more question left. Let's do it. So question is given among XeF4, BF4 minus and SF4. It's again two statement based question. XeF4, BF4 minus and SF4, the species having the equal mx bond length. Okay, bond length, they are saying it's the same. In XeF4 and BF4. Okay, where M is a central metal. So statement 1 is giving among XeF4, BF4 minus and SF4 minus species having the equal mx bond length in XeF4 and BF4, means they are saying these two having the equal bond length, but this one is not. Let's check it. Xe having the total 8 electron, so this is become a square planar geometry, and this is the one lone pair and that is the one lone pair. Yes, all the mx bond length are same, right? Let's talk about the BF4. Is a tetrahedral shape. It also have the same. But SF4, sulfur having the total 6 electron and where F is present, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we have a 4 with one lone pair. So basically 4 plus 1 is become 5, means it's become triangular bipyramidical. We have one lone pair, we will keep it here, and these are the fluorine we are capturing here. These are the equatorial and axial. Okay, bond length are not same. I'll take it this structure in account. It's a seesaw structure. So seesaw structure, here the axial having the different bond length where compared to the equatorial. So first statement is right, that XeF4 and BF4 have the same bond length, but SF4 having the different. Okay. Sorry. Now the second statement they are saying, among O2 minus 2, O2 minus F2 and O2 plus have the highest bond order in F2 and O2 minus. Okay, they are saying highest bond order. Highest bond order in F2 and O2 minus 2. Okay. So see, O2 bond order, we know that O2 bond order is 2. So O2 plus is just 0.5 increase. O2 minus is, that is 0.5 decrease. O2 minus 2 is again 0.5 decreases. And F2 bond order is 1 only. So obviously F2 does not have the highest one, O2 plus having the highest. So this statement is become wrong. The first one is right. So we have our options here. So let me read it out, the option. The first option is telling both statements are correct, which is not right. Both statement 1 and 2 are incorrect. Again, it's not right. First is correct and second is incorrect, and that is the C option, that first is correct and second is incorrect. So we have these questions. Now we can discuss the physics. So physics sir is there. So you can continue with this. Thank you.
Okay, so we are now going to solve the physics paper. I did the analysis. This time the paper was a little bit moderate. Some easy questions are there though, but most of all I will say paper was a bit moderate, a little bit calculative this time. Okay, now I will read out my question from the phone and I will solve it here on the slide. Okay, so first question, let's start with the diode based question, a circuit based question, and let's see what we have to find here. So in this question, they have given us a circuit having a 20-volt battery here and then a 200 ohm resistance connected in series, and then here we have three diodes, one like this. Okay, let me just move it. Okay, yeah, So one diode like this, the other diode is in reverse bias, and finally the third diode is like this. Okay, this. What they are asking in the question is, if each diode has a potential of, if each diode has a threshold potential of 0.7 volt, then how much current is going to be in all the three diodes? So we have to basically find the currents flowing through the three diodes. Now in the options we have the three currents. In order, we have to select the correct option. Now if we check the diagram, we can clearly pinpoint out that the second diode, it is connected in reverse bias, because this is the positive, this is the negative. The positive is connected to N and negative is connected to P. So this middle diode is in inverse or in a reverse polarity, it's reverse biased, so no current will flow through it. So we can definitely say that I2 will be 0. Now talking about I1 and I3, since these two diodes are identical, we will say that the current I1 is going to be equals to I3 due to the symmetricity of the two diodes. They are exactly identical. Now let's find out the current value of I1 and I3. So I will say, let's say I1 and I3 are same, and let's call them I. If we find I, our answer is there. Now since their voltage that is going to drop across the diode is 0.7 volt, so when the current flows here in both the diodes, how much voltage is going to get dropped down? 0.7 volt. So when the current flows in the circuit, 0.7 out of 20 volt, the 0.7 is going to drop across these diodes. So what is the available voltage? The available voltage which is available for current to flow is 20 minus 0.7. Okay, now I can say that, so available voltage for current flow is basically 19.3 volt, right? Because out of 20, the 0.7 is going to get dropped here, and they are in parallel, so 0.7 will be same. So this entire circuit has a potential difference of 0.7. So out of 20, 0.7 is dropped here. So this potential difference across this 200 volt is delta V. That's what we are calculating. How much is delta V? 20 minus 0.7, 19.3. So what is the current flowing through the 200 ohm resistance? Let's call this current I naught. Okay, so what is this I naught current is going to be? It's going to be the potential difference by resistance, that is 19.3 by 200. If I find it out, it's going to be how much? 10 raised to the power minus 2 I will write as it is. 2 nines will be 18. 2 nines will be 18. Then we have 53, right? 2 nines is 18. We are going to get 1 3, 2 6 12, and then we'll get 5. Okay, so what is I naught? I can say from here 9.65 ampere, right? Or I can say it as, it's basically 96.5 milliampere, right? If I send 1 0 here, then 10 raised to the power minus 2 will become 10 raised to the power minus 3, which will make it milliampere. Now this is the current I naught going at this junction. Now this current has two paths to flow, right? Or two paths to follow. So I naught at this junction is going to break down into two paths, and it will be I1 plus I3. Since I1 and I3 are same, and both we have assumed to be I, the 2I is going to be I naught. So what is going to be one current I here? I naught by 2. Since I naught is 96.5 milliampere, so our answer will be 96.5 by 2, which is basically going to be 4825. So our answer will be 48.25 milliampere. So what are these three current? 48.25, 0, and again 48.25 milliampere. So whichever option has this answer, we'll select this and choose the correct answer. Okay, so this question is a bit calculative, but on the level of difficulty, I will say that this question is moderate to moderate level question. Okay, now let's move on to the next question, and here we go. Here is the next question. Now this question I am taking from the waves, and what is the question here? from SHM, basically, the position of a particle in SHM is given by A sine omega t. We have to find the time when the potential energy is minimum. Okay, the first time when the potential energy is going to be minimum. They have said the time when potential energy is minimum is given by T by 2 beta. We have to find the value of beta. Now, if this is the position, we know that in SHM, the potential energy is given as half kx square. So, we can say that potential energy is proportional to x square in SHM. Now, since x is a sine omega t, the potential energy hence is going to be proportional to sine square omega t. We want the minimum value of potential energy, when it will be minimum. Okay. Since potential energy is a function of sine square theta, if sine is minimum, the potential energy will be minimum. So when is the sine minimum? Since it is getting squared. So whenever sine square is minimum, potential energy will be minimum. At what time sine square will be minimum? When sine is 0. So the potential energy, which is sine square omega t, will be minimum when sine square function is minimum, and when it only becomes minimum when sine is 0. So basically the minimum case for potential energy is going to be sine omega t going to be 0. Now we know that sine is 0 at 0, pi, 2 pi, and so on. Since we want the minimum time when the potential energy will be minimum, I will choose omega t to be equals to pi, because 0 option is not available there. If 0 option is given, we should select 0. So omega t is going to be pi. Now omega t is going to be pi, and this time is given in the question, right? They have given the value of time as t by 2 beta. So omega into t by 2 beta is going to be pi, right? We want beta. Beta is basically omega t by 2 pi, right? Now we know one thing. What? Omega is also 2 pi by t. So 2 pi by t into 2 pi. Pi pi, 2 pi, 2 pi is gone. The time is going to be how much? 1 second. So hence our answer is 1 second. This value is actually available in the option. So whichever option is this, we'll select those. Okay. Now talking about this question, again it's a moderate to easy difficulty level question. We can solve it, a bit calculative, but we can solve it and get the answer here. Now moving on to the next question. Okay, in next question we have to find the RMS value of electric current. So in some circuit, the current is given as I naught t by t. We have to find the RMS value of this current for the time period of 0 second to capital T second. Okay, so 0 second to capital T second, we have to find out the RMS value of the current. Now, what is the basic formula to find the RMS value of the current? We know that the RMS value of the current is basically integration of I square dt. Since they are asking it from 0 to t, we will put the integration limit from 0 to t divided by the total time period, that is t minus 0. This is how we find RMS value of current. But what I am forgetting here, we should put a square root of it. So what is the meaning of RMS? Square, then take mean, which is basically integration. So mean square root of current. Root mean square of current. So root mean square of the current. Now I will put the value, that is root I square, I am going to put as I naught t by t whole square dt 0 to t by t minus 0 is basically t. I can take the I naught, right, I naught square outside, and due to square root, the I naught square root is going to be I naught. Now since capital T is also constant, it will go out as t square. T square will go out of square root and become t. Now, so finally we are getting, right, t, and one more thing, 1 by root t is lying here. I will keep on writing it as it is. Okay, so I will write it like this, the root t from denominator here, and we are left with square root of integration of t square dt from 0 to t. Now it's time to integrate this function. So I naught t root t as it is, right? T square integration is going to be t cube by 3, and if I directly put the limit, I will get t cube by 3 like this. I have to keep this square root as it is. Okay. Okay, now the next step I will write here. So IRMS is going to be I naught T root T. Now see, can I write T cube as T square into T? T square will go out of square root and become T. So what I am going to get? T root T here and 3 here. T root T is going to get cancelled. So I can say that the final answer is IRMS is basically I naught by 3. If we check the options which we have based on the memories, we do have, oh sorry, this 3 is inside the root, so I should take care of that. So this option is available in one of, this value is available in one of the option. We'll select this option and this is our correct answer. Now talking about this question also, it's a bit calculative, but easily you can solve it in the exam within 1 minute or so. So this is again moderate to easy level question. I hope all of you got the correct answer. Now let's move on to the next question, and next question we are going to take is from fluids. Okay, and the good thing is this question is a straightforward question. Now what is this question? We have a tube, we are dropping a ball inside this tube from a height h above the tube, right, from a height h above the tube, right. We have to draw the velocity of the particle as a function of the height. Okay, I think this height is not of the tube, but height is given for the from the ground, the level from the ground. Okay, so we don't have exact information, but this is the question we have here. So a ball is dropped over the liquid surface. From here we are just releasing it. It's a liquid which is viscous, and now ball is going to fall through the liquid. Now can you guess it which question this or which topic this question is based on? So this question is basically based on the viscosity, the terminal velocity of the ball. Now they have given in the question the forces acting on the ball is gravity, mg, and other than that, when it goes inside the liquid, a viscous force will be acting on it. How much viscous force? Minus kV, right? Now do you remember the formula of viscous force on the body, a spherical body falling through a liquid? Yes, we do. The viscous force is how much? 6 pi eta rv, and minus sign because this viscous force is opposite to the velocity. If we compare these two formulas, the one they have given and one viscous force we have here, we can simply say that if we compare these two formula, in question they are simply calling 6 pi eta rs k. So it's the same question. A ball dropped in a liquid from the top, it is going to attain a terminal velocity after some time. We have to draw the graph of velocity versus time. Now if you remember, we have did it in the theory. As ball goes downward, its velocity keeps on increasing because mg is more, but once it gets faster, it achieves enough velocity, the viscous force and mg, so mg and viscous force are going to balance out each other, and once they are balancing out each other, the velocity will become constant. So initially it's not moving, we are just releasing it. So mg is more, viscous force is 0. As it keeps on moving down due to mg, it will accelerate and velocity will increase. More velocity means more viscous force, and at one point of time the viscous force is going to balance mg. So initially velocity will increase, then finally when mg and viscous force become same, the velocity will become constant. So how the graph look like? We have seen it in the class. The graph goes like this. The velocity increases first, and then after some time, after the point of time where viscous force and mg are same, the graph will become flat, right? So this is the graph of velocity of the ball with the time. Okay, so this question I will call is the easy question, because when we study the viscous force, when we study the terminal velocity, this is the exact graph that we draw in the class, that we draw in the theory. In NCERT, when you open your notes, you will see this exact question or exact graph there in the NCERT. So I will rate this question up to easy level. Okay, now let's move on to the next question, and this question is based on EM waves. So yes, they do ask question on EM waves. We'll see this question is basically of easy level, right? Now what they are asking, let's see. So EM wave, there is a general misconception that the question on EM waves they rarely ask. They ask question on everything but EM waves, but it is not like that. Okay, they do ask question on EM waves. And on EM wave, the question level are generally easy. All you have to do is study this tiny chapter and some easy question they are going to ask from this chapter. Now, what is the question? The electric field equation for a EM wave is given as 2 sine 2 into 10 raised to the power 15 t minus 10 raised to the power 7 x. That's it. Find the refractive index of the medium through which this EM wave is traveling. Now, if we look at this equation and compare it with the general equation of the electric field, that is E naught sine omega t minus kx, we can conclude two things. That omega is going to be basically how much? 2 into 10 raised to the power 15, and k is going to be how much if we compare directly? 10 raised to the power 7. Okay, if you want units, it will be radian per second. If you want unit of k, we know that it is per meter, right? Now, to get refractive index, we know that the formula of refractive index is basically speed of light by speed of light in that medium. Now, think about it for a second. If we know omega and if we know k, can we find the speed of light or speed of the wave in that medium? Yes, we can. So what is the speed of wave in a medium? The speed of a wave in medium in terms of omega and k is omega by k. What is omega? 2 into 10 raised to the power 15. What is k? 10 raised to the power 7. When we cancel it, we are going to get 2 into 10 raised to the power 8 meter per second. Okay. Now, next thing. This is the speed of the wave. The refractive index hence is going to be, I will use a different color to mark here the correct answer. So speed of light, which is 3 into 10 raised to the power 8 meter per second, divided by speed of the wave in this medium, 2 into 10 raised to the power 8, which will make it 3 by 2, which is 1.5. So any option, either 3 by 2 or 1.5 is available in the question. We are going to choose that, mark as the correct answer. Now, rating this question is a bit challenging because generally students skip the electromagnetic wave portion, so they find this question a bit tough. But actually, if you study the electromagnetic waves properly or even the waves chapter properly, this chapter is of easy level. All you have to do is find this velocity of the wave, divide the velocity of the light with the velocity of wave, and there you go. There is your answer, which is 3 by 2. So I will rate this question as easy level question. Okay, so far so good. We have solved some good questions, some medium level question and some easy questions here. Okay, now I will pick the next one, and the next question is this. Just let me check it here. Okay, so okay, so next question is of rotational motion. Obviously, we always expect one question or two questions from rotational motion. Now let's see this. So question is this: we have a axis of rotation and about which the object is going to rotate, and which object we are rotating here is a sphere. Now which sphere it is? Solid sphere. So what they are asking in the question is, a solid sphere of radius 10 centimeter is rotated about this axis, which is lying at a distance of 15 centimeter from the center of the sphere. We have to find the radius of gyration. So radius of gyration, K, they are asking how much it will be if we rotate the sphere like this about this axis. Okay, now here we go. We know that the radius of gyration formula is basically moment of inertia about this axis. Let's call it I by m, right? So root I by m. We know this formula of radius of gyration. Now, to solve this question, I have to find the moment of inertia first, and how we can find it? Any guesses? Anyone? So moment of inertia we can find about this axis by parallel axis theorem. So what is the moment of inertia I here? So I is going to be basically due to parallel axis theorem, ICOM, moment of inertia about center of mass, plus mr square. Now what is r here? 15 centimeter. So I will say I is going to be ICUM. What is the moment of inertia of a solid sphere about an axis passing through its center? It is 2 by 5 mr square. So I will write it 2 by 5 m r square, that is radius of the sphere, plus m into this distance square. Now I will just take the LCM and I will check. We can take anything common first. Good thing is we don't have to take LCM, because this 10 square will be 100. 100 by 5 is going to be 20. So we are getting 40m plus 15 square is 225m. Right. So I is going to be how much? 225 plus 40, 265m. Okay. Okay. Now we are going to put the value of I there, and I will again use a different ink here to annotate the answer. It is 265m by m. Now m and m will be cancelled. I will now write it here. So k is going to be how much? Root 265. Now this is not an option based question, it's an integer type question. And in question they are saying us before only that I should mention it here, that in question it was already given that k is equals to root n, then find the value of this integer n. So if k is equals to root n also, so root n will be 265. This means n is going to be 265. So which answer, which integer you are going to circle there? It's 265. Getting it? So this kind of question are there. A rotational motion question. The question theoretically is of easy level, but if you include the time taken to solve the question, to do the calculation, I will consider this question of moderate level. Okay. Now, next question I am going to select from here, and it is going to be a bit lengthy question, a question based on calorimetry. Okay, now calorimetry questions are the methodical question. You have to follow the entire solution step by step by step. Okay, so they are a bit lengthy. They are going to be a lot of calculation in solving this question, but if you remember the method, the specific steps, the question becomes relatively easier to solve. Okay, so now this question is going to be a bit lengthy, but let's solve it and get the answer. Okay, now what is the question? We have a calorimetry container. Perfect. It has 10 kg of ice. So I will draw some ice here. 10 kg basically. Okay, looks good. Perfect. So I will write it here. It's 10 kg of ice. Okay, I will use a white color. So 10 kg ice at minus 10 degree centigrade. Now we are mixing it with water. So I will represent water with the light shade of blue, right? And we are putting the water here. Okay, what is the mass of water? It's huge, 100 kg water, and temperature is 25 degree Celsius. We mixed it, we let the temperature settle, and finally what they are asking in the question is, what is the final temperature of the container? So what is the final temperature of the mixture in equilibrium in degree Celsius? Okay, so now how to solve this question? Will follow the calorimetry method. So first way or first step to solve the calorimetry question is draw the charts. So what is the way to solve this? First bring them to same state. Okay, and I can see since water is in huge quantity, I will assume that final state is going to be water. So what I am going to do is take ice into a water at T temperature, take water to a water at T final equilibrium temperature, and I will just simply balance the heat. Heat given by the hotter object, which is water, will be same as heat absorbed by the colder substance, which is ice. So let's say the final mixture, I will draw it here, is going to be in this container all water. Okay, so we will use this shade of blue, which we have not used it, I think. No, we have used this. So I will use this shade. So finally we have water only. Okay, this is my assumption. If it is not water, if there is some ice, then I will get the value of answers, a value of the temperature, which will correct the answer itself. Okay, so let's say finally it's not water, it's ice. So I will get temperature which is below than 0 degree Celsius, then I will correct my solution. But from experience, as you solve more question, you will get experience. So I'm telling you before only that my experience tells this, that final solution is going to be water only. Okay. Anyways, in option, all the temperature are more than 0 degree Celsius, so no need to worry. So finally, what will be there? Water. How much kg? 100 plus 10, 110 kg of water. And what is the temperature? T degree Celsius. We have to find this temperature T. Okay. Now if I draw the charts to see the things visually, the ice at 0 degree Celsius, sorry, ice at minus 10 degree Celsius is first going to heat up and become ice at 0 degree Celsius. Let's say here the heat is Qi, heat gained by ice. Now this ice is then going to melt and become water at 0 degree Celsius. Here the heat required is latent heat of fusion. And finally this water will gain some heat. I will call it del QW1. Okay. And I am going to, and finally it will become water at T degree Celsius. This T we have to find. Okay. What will happen to the water? The water which was initially there at how much water we have? 100 kg, and initial temperature is 25 degrees Celsius. It will cool down and become water only, but at a temperature, some other temperature, T degree Celsius, releasing the heat delta QW2. Okay. Now according to the concept of calorimetry, the heat given by the hotter substance is equals to heat gained by colder substance. How much heat is given by hotter substance, that is water? Delta QW2 will be heat gained by colder substance, that is delta Q ice plus delta Q fusion plus delta Q W1. So I will just repeat it, delta Q ice plus delta Q fusion plus delta Q W2. That's it. The structure of the question is ready. All we have to do now is put the values and solve the question. Okay. What is delta QW2? Since water is cooling down, it is going to be mass of water. Okay, I will start putting the value. So delta Q of water, so delta Q of water is going to be mass of water, which is 100 kg. Okay, I will just write the values here. Once I can put the values in the formula, then we can solve. So what is delta Q of water? Mass of water, specific heat of water into change in temperature of the water. Water's initial temperature is 25. Now it is cooling down to T. So this is the value of delta Q W2. What is delta Q ice? Ice is heating up. So mass of ice into specific heat capacity of ice into change in temperature of ice. It's cooling, it's heating from minus 10 to 0. So I will write it as change in temperature 0 minus minus 10. Latent heat of fusion, mass of ice into latent heat of fusion. Okay. Finally, what is delta Q W2? It's mass of ice which become water now into specific heat of water into change in temperature. So its temperature is initially 0. It's heating up to T. So T minus 0. Now put the values. So what is the mass of water in the question? It is 100 kg. Perfect. A good number, isn't it? Specific heat of water 1 into 25 minus T. What is the mass of ice in the question? Yes, 10 kg. Perfect. Specific heat of ice, we take it half. Here 0 minus 10 is 10. Okay. Mass of ice 10 kg. Latent heat of fusion is 80. We know this value. If you don't, you must remember this value. Latent heat of fusion, latent heat of vaporization, specific heat capacity of ice, specific heat capacity of water, specific heat capacity of steam. Okay. Now what is the mass of ice? 10 kg. Specific heat of water is 1, and the final is T minus 0. I don't have to write T minus 0. I can write it as T. Okay, first let's cancel something. So 1 0 is going to be eliminated. Yes, 2 5s are. So we are getting, if I multiply in the bracket, 250 minus 10T is 5 plus 80 plus T. Okay, I will bring T together and rest of the terms together. So 10T plus T, that is 11T. 250 minus 85 basically. Now what is 250 minus 85? It is 5. Here we have 5. So once we subtract 5, we have 4. 4 minus 8 is going to be 6, right? So 4 minus 8 is going to be 6, and 165 we are getting. So from here, what is the final temperature? 165 by 11. Now I will check option if any option like this is there. No. So now I will cancel it. I will say 11 ones is 11. Once we leave the 11 here, 11 ones are 11. We are left with 55, which is 5 times. So our answer is 55 degrees Celsius. I was not expecting it to be exact correct answer, but the good thing is we have solved it and we got exact value, 15 degrees Celsius. I was expecting maybe some point value we have to find. Maybe it's going to be a bit calculative, but good thing is the answer was right there, a perfect single digit number. Now this is another option based question. The options were there. We can simply solve this and select the right answer. Now how you will rate this question? It's in front of you only. We have to draw the diagram, take the final state, create the charts, do the calculation, and finally solve and get the answer. Now if you know the theory, how to solve this question, if you know the procedure, the question I will rate as moderate to easy level. But let's say if you don't know the theory, if you consider the time of solving the question also, I will say this question is of hard level. Okay, so if you know how to solve this question, it's moderate to easy level, and if you have no idea, then this question can be a tougher one. Why? Because the time of solving question is a lot. Okay, so now that's it. That's it from my side. The overall paper, I will say the physics paper. So overall the physics paper was of easy to moderate level only. We have seen some easy questions like here, this graphical question if we talk about, right? The graphical question that we have seen here, it's the literally a portion of NCRT. We have already solved it. It was easy. Now this question that is based on IRMS current is a bit calculative, but I can rank it as moderate level question. Now this question of energy is again moderate level question, we can say, right? Similarly, this is an easy question, only the calculation makes it a bit challenging. Okay, then we have seen the rotational motion question, right? So rotational motion question are generally of lengthy level or of moderate level. This is also kind of same. Due to calculation, it's of moderate level. Next one, we have seen the speed of the light and to find the refractive index. This question we have seen is of moderate level only, but if you know the basics of the wave, you can easily solve it within a minute. And finally, this question, I will say it's the hard question from the paper. Only it's hard because it took a lot of time to solve. Okay, so thanks for joining, and we'll see you soon with some more lectures. Okay then, thank you.